Well, everyone, we're going to get ourselves started here. Welcome, everyone, to today's webinar. We are going to be discussing working from anywhere. My name is Kurt Pontello, and I will be your presenter for today's webinar. If you have any questions during the meeting, please feel free to post them in the meeting chat section below, and we will do our best to answer those by the end of the presentation. Please note that today's webinar is going to be recorded, and we will be sending out a link to you after the presentation. So a quick agenda for today. We're going to talk about the current trends in our industry and more or less the current trends of people actually working from home now. We're going to talk really about the applications that people use on a day in and day out basis that allow them to work from anywhere, right? So the web client, soft phone, mobile application. But obviously when we have people work from home, us managers have a little concerns of are people being productive, right? So we're going to go through the management tools, show you how those work, and how you can kind of keep track of what your people are doing while they're working at home. And then the final piece is we're going to go through some integrations that integrate to your, your web clients as far as your CRMs are concerned, as well as your email addresses. So we'll walk through those things and kind of get it started from there. So an interesting study that I found here, one Gallup survey found that 43% of Americans work from home occasionally. That's up from 39% back in 2012 when they did it. But another one kind of thing important here, though, the U.S. Census data indicates that 5.2 Americans work completely from home. That's roughly 8 million people. Obviously, with the COVID-19 and everything going on with that, that number has spiked dramatically in the last couple of weeks here. So there's probably, I don't know, 100 million Americans working from home compared to the 8. So in our industry, we constantly get asked, how do we work from anywhere? How do we allow people to work from home? Do those kind of things. So we're going to talk about that today, do some deep dives into the applications themselves and get us a better understanding of how we actually do that. So we're going to discuss today the web client. So it's going to live in a Chrome browser or any kind of browser that you have to allow you to do those things. But it's also going to have the soft phone capability of turning my desk phone into, well, an application that runs on my computer, right? It allows me to use what is called a soft phone. Allows me to dial people in the office just like I was there, but I'm using my computer to do so. And we're going to go through the mobile application. This is one of my favorite things within this product line is the ability to use my mobile device just like I was there in the office. So if I'm at a customer site or if I'm on the road or wherever I'm at, I'm able to communicate to people and they're able to reach me with a single number to dial. So without further ado, let's get ourselves right into the application. So you're going to see here that I am just going to grab a Google Chrome page. See here that I have my 3CX application, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that and run you through kind of the interface and what this looks like. So as you see, it's in a browser here. I have all of the people within my organization. So I have the opportunity to see, people that are on the phone. Like, for instance, I'm in a conference call, but I can look at here, Nikki here, for instance. I have the option to call Nikki from here. I have the ability to send her a chat. I have the ability to add her to a web meeting, right? So we can do an audio, web, or video meeting out of this. I have the option to add her to my favorites, and Nikki is one of my favorites because she's one of our project managers that I work with on a day in and day out basis. So, easy to connect to, easy to see, but if you look here, there's a couple other things that I can do. I have the option to intercom Nikki, for instance. So if I wanted to page her through the phone, I could do something like that. If I wanted to send her an email, I'd be able to do it right out of this application. If I wanted to leave her a voicemail, I could do that. If I wanted to call her mobile device, I would be able to do the same thing from here. So a lot of options here within the interface, but you can see here that I have my favorites. So there's Nikki again, back in that. But let's say I have multiple locations within my organization and I need to be able to send calls to different people or to see what those people are doing, but we may not be in the physical same building. No issue. We can put location 1, location 3, 4, 5, 6, build this out as many as you want. You can even departmentalize these things. So if you see here that we have our sales team, so we have people here in the office that are part of our sales group, but that could be a service department, that could be accounting, that could be a wide variety of things that you have the option to create. And these are all free forms, so you can fill out any names, information that you want to put in here and build this out as big as you want. The next piece you're going to have is your contacts, right? So as you can see, I have contacts in here, but I have a couple different options. I have company contacts or I have personal contacts, But you notice if I wanted to call somebody, I simply click in here and I can call them. If I wanted to invite them to a web meeting, I just simply send them a link by clicking right here. I can choose to edit their profile, and of course I can delete this person. One thing I do really like about this, though, let's just say, for instance, I wanted to import some things. I can import like my O365 contacts, my Outlook contacts. If I have just a CSV of a bunch of contacts that I want to send, I can import those right here by simply clicking this. It's going to pull open a place for me to pull, and away I go. And if I just wanted to add somebody, simply just click the button here to add a new contact. Next thing is team messaging, right? Team messaging has been a big, new improvement within our industry, and the allowing people to communicate, right? Some of you have probably used instant messaging over the years, but the nice thing is I can instant message anybody within my organization. As you see, I have a lot here, but I also have the ability if I wanted to create groups. So this is a sales and support group for a couple of us, but you can see I have a couple members. I have Lindsay, I have Mike, I have Jack. Those people are all right here, and we have a group conversation that we have going on. We have the ability to attach files in here as well. So we are able to collaborate real time by attaching and sharing information just like we were there in the office. So for people that are working from home or working remote, you really have all the same feature functionalities as you do in the office, right? And you have a median to collaborate with those people here. Next one's going to be your call history. Pretty straightforward, right? All calls, incoming calls, outgoing calls, missed calls, abandoned. But the thing I really like about it, let's say, for instance, I wanted to take this number. I can obviously choose to call it back, but I also have the ability to add it. So if I wanted to add this person, type in their information, their company, their email, whatever I wanted to put in here. And I could, of course, add it to my personal contacts, but if you look down here in the left-hand corner, we have the ability to add this to our company phone book. So let's say we had a new supplier or we have a new client now, and we want that information to be shared with people within the organization that are going to be working with them. Great thing to share with them, and then now they have the ability to do so. Voicemail. All right, so voicemail is nothing new. We've all used it. We've used it forever, right? But with voicemail, we now have voicemail to email. So, of course, I can get my voicemail messages. They come to my inbox, and they also come to my email. So with them coming to my email, I get a WAV file of the attachment, and I can click to listen to it. But we've taken this one step further and also given the ability to do voicemail to email transcription. So as you can see here, here's a call that I got. Hey, this is Connor, calling you back, blah, 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 blah. If you could call me by clicking, I can call them here. But I also have the ability to download the voicemail if I need to share it with somebody else in my organization. I have the ability to play it on my phone. I have the ability to call somebody. Of course, I can delete the voicemail, or I can choose to make this person a new contact. So all of those things are available to me. And the nice thing is it's all right here in a simple pane. And if you see that I have people in my organization, it gives me a little bit more information of them, all of those kind of things. All right? So obviously working from anywhere, well, we need to work from anywhere, right? But let's be honest, phone calls are great and we can have those conversations and those work. But, really to truly take advantage of being able to work from anywhere is the ability to schedule conferences. And what I mean by conferences are audio conferences, web conferences, video conferences, just like the stuff that we're on today, right? The ability to collaborate with people, see their faces, talk real time, just much more of a personal touch. So, as we're all stuck in home at this current state that we're in, we need the ability to still be able to reach out to our clients, still be able to, do things from a sales organization perspective, still talk to our customers and all of those kind of things. So by scheduling a conference with somebody, it's going to allow us to do some things. So if we click here, I could choose an audio only. I can do a video. If I wanted to do it now, of course I can do that, but I can also do it later. So if I wanted to schedule one out here, let's just say we wanted to do it for the 31st. Oh, let's make it for 9 o'clock. And I can choose the duration. If I wanted to make it for 30 minutes, I can, but I can choose to make it for 60. Okay, put a subject in. We'll just call this a test. Okay, and then I can put any notes that I want to put into my people here, but you'll notice that I have a couple different options then when I get down here. So my web meeting has the ability to do a web meeting. So that's a conversation that All of us are participating. We have the ability to have conversations back and forth. We can see each other in their videos and those kind of things. And we can do up to 100 participants in a single meeting for that. The difference is when we go down here to the webinar classroom style, and what I have set up today, is it automatically mutes the participants when they come in, and it's more of a classroom style. So great for when you're doing lectures or webinars or more of a presentation to somebody that doesn't necessarily need to be a two-way conversation. So pick your poison which one you want to do, but you could absolutely do either one. And we have the ability here to integrate to different calendars, right? So if you have Google, it's in there. If you have Office 365, it's in there. If you have Outlook, it's in there. They even make this cool little thing called an iCal that allows it to integrate to other ones that you don't see native out of the box. So if I wanted to click one, it simply allows me to do this, and I can create my meeting, and away I run. So if I create my meeting, you'll see here, it'll pop this open for me. It'll already pre-populate. All I have to do is invite my people that I want, but it already gives all the meeting information and everything that I want to do with it. So just that simple to schedule a conference. The next thing we're going to talk about is the web meeting. So this is just really my meeting bridge that I can log into anytime. I can send a link out to somebody. We won't do that because we're actually already in mine today. All right? So that's a little bit about the web client. There's a few things down here that we're going to get into in just a minute from more of a management perspective and from an individual administrative perspective. All right, but the next piece that I wanted to be able to show you guys is I wanted to show you the Google Chrome plugin. Okay, so this is a soft phone. All right, a soft phone essentially turns my laptop or my computer into a phone. So if I wanted to plug headset into my laptop and I wanted to have a conversation with somebody, I would simply dial out of this application, and it allows me to do different things, right? So of course I can put a call on hold, I can mute it, I can add a new call, I can conference people in, I can transfer, I can even do an attended transfer. Hey, I have Kurt on the line, would you like to talk to him? You know what, I'm sorry, I'm in a meeting, have him call me back, right? So you have some flexibility with that as well. Of course, you can record the conversation. There's a dial pad. You can even add video. But the cool thing I like about this is when I click around in it, it actually pops me into different things within the application here. So that's your soft phone. It allows you to pick which way you want to communicate to people. All right. The other thing you'll look at up here in this corner is I have the ability to pick my median of what I want to talk through, right? So right now I'm talking through my desk phone, but I could use my browser extension, which I just showed you. And then the other one is your smartphone, right? So that's the next thing I'd like to share with you guys is the smartphone application. So I am just going to share my desk or my smartphone here real quick with all of you and fire this thing up. And so now you can see that I have a couple things going on here. So I have my 3CX application. I'm going to go ahead and click onto that. But now I have the ability to do a lot of different things from this, right? I have the ability to call people within my organization. I have the ability to do different things. So if I wanted to, I don't know, call somebody in my office, for instance. So let's just see. Let's call Lindsay, for instance. We're going to give her a call. I know her extension, so I'm able to dial her. And give it just a second here, and let's see if Lindsay answers the phone. There she is. Thank you, Lindsay, for taking this. Just doing a quick demo. But you see here that I have the ability to put Lindsay on hold. I can transfer the call out of this. I can, put a keypad. I have my call being recorded. I can put it on mute if I wanted to, speakerphone, and I have different options with my speakerphone. So nice when you're traveling, if you have, like a Uconnect or some kind of different, assist for your car to do the overhead speakers in that. There's some flexibility in there as well. So you have a lot of options with it, but the nice thing is you can pick which one that you want to dial out of it. But I also have some other things. So thank you, Lindsay, for taking that one. But I also have the, I can see status in here, so I can see that she's on a call, for instance. I can see the status of people within my office and what's going on. But I also have contacts. So my contacts in here are going to be, like my different Apple contacts that I have an iPhone. But if I wanted to scroll down here and have the ability to see April, for instance, I can click on her and I can call her in and out of this application, right? So I can choose to call her extension, call her mobile number, leave a voicemail, all of those different kinds of things. It allows that to happen from here. Of course, I have my dial pad like I showed you, but I have multiple lines on this. So if I wanted to select a different line or multiple lines are calling in, not an issue. And I also have my recent calls, so you can see here that I've made some calls back and forth in on all those kind of things. But I also have my messages, right? So if I wanted to IM anybody, you can see that the same thing is here on the mobile app as it is on the desktop application. So the synchronization between the apps allows you to work between them, gives you a lot of flexibility within this application to do that. All right, hopefully that makes sense for everybody, and pretty straightforward as far as that's concerned. So we're going to go ahead and close this and minimize this application down and go from there. So the next thing I wanted to get into, so those are kind of our three main applications and how we work from home. So there's a lot of flexibility, as you can see. This is kind of cool. You can see an incoming call coming in right now for me, so a good chance to take advantage of that. And it's also on my mobile app that it's ringing through as well. But good information for you folks to see, so you can see how an active call is coming in. So I'm just going to let that one go to voicemail. And you can also see over here that I have my phone was ringing, right? The last thing I wanted to share with you on this main page is the ability to set, well, your availability, right? So the nice thing is with this 3CX application, it's going to allow folks to, like say for instance, I have O365, and it actually has a plugin that allows you, or allows the application to read your calendar. So take, for instance, that I'm currently in a meeting. It is automatically going to change me to an away state. And the nice thing is if I go over here in my settings and in my greetings, I have different greetings that I have created, right? So my away one says, thank you for calling Kurt at Tech Mode. I'm sorry I missed your call, but I'm currently in a meeting. If you would, please leave me a message and I will return it as soon as I get out of that meeting. So you can have pre-recorded information for folks, but it allows those calendars to read each other. So it automatically does this stuff for you. It's so slick. I really like the ability for folks to be able to just automatically do those things. They don't have to think about it. Makes life easy. All of that. So the other couple things you have, do not disturb. I could be on lunch, on vacation. I can set a temporary status. I can let people know what's going on with me simply based on what I do here. But as you see, I have my different announcements and things that I have going on. All right? Pretty cool when it comes to that. So there's a call history, good thing for you to see, right? But there's a phone number that I missed, and obviously I can choose to call that person back, add them to a call, or add them to my contacts, whatever I want to do. So the next thing I want to talk about is really the managers, right? So management tools, in my opinion, are an important thing to allow people to work from anywhere. And if I'm going to have trust as an organization for my employees, well, one, you should have that off the get. But maybe you're a little leery. This is something new that I'm trying out. We're not necessarily sure how it's going to go. Are people going to sit on the couch and not do anything? So we have management tools built into the system to allow you to check and to see what people have going on. So I'm going to show you that management interface. So I'm going to go here, open up another page. So we have more of the management side of this. So I'm going to grab my management information here. I'm going to log myself in. So I have a couple of things that I can natively do. So there's a much more that they give access to for managers. I'm a salesperson, so they don't want to give me that much access, but I have a couple of things that I can show you here. So here's the reports, right? So with our reports, I have the ability to create a new one. So I'm just going to create a new one for all of us here and show you kind of how this works. So call reports, this one kind of gives us everything, right? It talks about incoming calls, outgoing calls, duration, call costings in there, and it even gives me call recording functionality within that report. But you can see we have a lot of different ones, right? So there's call costing like we talked about. There's queue, information that we have on here. There's the ability to, do it by particular agents, do it by telephone number. So we're just going to grab the first one here. We're going to give it a name. Let's just call it test. And let's put an email in here. So kpontello@techmo.com, right? And the frequency, we can choose to do this daily, first day of the week, weekly, every 2 weeks, first day of the month. So you can really pick how often you want to receive these. So the nice thing is you notice that I put my email address in here, but I could put as many email addresses as that I want to. So I could add 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to all of the managers and want to see different things. We could send them those reports. Okay, so we're just going to do it one time now. Let's do a range of, I don't know, the last 7 days. And we have the ability to do a couple of things out of here. So I have the option to do it by range of extensions, telephone number, external numbers. I'm just going to do it for a particular person in my office. So let's say I wanted to check on one of my folks here that work for us. His name is Mike. We're going to check on his extension. We're going to do it to any, but you can see that we have a lot of different other things that we can choose from here to do so. You can do answered, unanswered, ringing, talking. Obviously, there's some things that we can do in here to change those as well. But let's schedule this report. All right, so now it is scheduled, and I'm going to get an email here in just a second. And I'm going to pop that open for all of you guys to see. So this is the email that gets generated. You can see here that it's a test. I'm going to have the ability to click here to download. But now I can take a look at all of the phone calls that Mike has made. So I can see, I don't know, just grab the first one here. It rang for 14 seconds. He talked for 1 minute, a total of 114. I have the telephone number that he dialed. But I also have the recording. So I can click right on here. It pops it as a WAV file, and I have the ability to have his recording in there as well. So a lot of flexibility with that, but you can see what your people are doing, right? Is he doing what he's supposed to do? So I can say Mike did a good job. He did 135 calls here in the last 7 days. You know, he did 3 hours and 50 minutes of talk time. If we were billing back for this service, it'd be $211.70. So good information for us to have. Good information to share, but great tools for us managers to be able to see what our people are doing on a day in and day out basis. All right. So obviously the next thing I wanted to talk to you about is the ability to support your people, right? So we run into a lot of times is when people work from anywhere is, well, how do we support them? Hey, I don't remember my extension. I don't remember my password. I don't remember this. I don't remember that. So how do we do that? So let's just take myself for an example. I have the ability here to send a welcome letter, okay? So I can edit my profile, do anything that I want to it from a manager perspective, but I'm going to send a welcome letter. Give it just a second here and wait for this thing to pop open. There we go. And so now you see that the system automatically generates a new welcome letter for me for everything that I would have questions about for the most part, right? So what's my extension number? What's my password for it? What's the web link to? How do I talk to everybody again? Here's the web link for it, right? How do I log in, right? Here's your login credentials. Here's your, your login password and everything. So it's all right here out of the box. The other thing I wanted to share with you is you notice down here in the left-hand corner, we have what's called a QR code, okay? A QR code, oh man, it's probably one of the greatest things that they've came out with in recent times. So what a QR code is going to allow me to do is I'm going to go to the App Store or the Google Play Store, and I'm going to download the 3CX application, right? And I need to get my cell phone set up, but, I'm not coming into the corporate office to have them punch in like the IP address and, to make sure my certificate's valid and make sure everything's working and all that fun stuff. All I do is I get in, open the app, and I scan the QR code. Boom. Everything else is instantly open, ready to go, and you're off and working, right? So there's no more configurations. I cannot tell you how quickly deployment times have been since we've been able to do these kind of things. And the nice thing is there's also some useful information in here, right? So how do you do some things, right? How do you work on the dashboard, right? Kind of what we went through. How does the app work, right? Using a desk phone, checking voicemail, scheduling a conference. All of those things have a quick reference guide, easy and available for people to view at any given time with it. So hopefully that stuff was pretty helpful for you guys from a management perspective, and you can see those things. Last thing I want to leave you with here is the switchboard. So I have the ability to see who's calling with different people within my groups, but you can see here that I have the ability for wall boards. These have historically been for contact center users, but these are great for managers and the ability for them to see what is going on. So right now you can see the Tech Mode Go sales queue. There's no people waiting in our queue. 41 calls have been answered. 6 of those have been abandoned. A total of 47 of them. And people have waited an estimated 6 seconds. So if you call our sales line, typically people answer it pretty quickly, all right? So there's different ones, different things that you want to do with it. All of those things are available for you here, all right? So the last piece I wanted to leave all of you with is the integrations. So integrations are really becoming more and more important as we want to be a mobile workforce. We want to be able to work from anywhere, but we need to be able to function with the core applications that we work with on a day in and day out basis, right? I assume everybody on this call has some kind of a CRM that you enter data information in for your customers and tools that you work out of, and the ability to integrate the phone system to those things have really become prevalent. Right, so as you can see here, there's some basic ones that we have on here. So like O365, we talked about that, right? Integrating the calendars, doing those kind of things. But when we get into CRMs like Salesforce and Zendesk and Dynamics 365 and I mean Zoho and HubSpot, and there's a ton of them, right? But at the end of the day, a caller calls in. It's going to query the database in Salesforce, for instance. It's going to say, hey, I see this information. This is Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, the screen pops to the person that receives the call, and it pops open my Salesforce, right? So hi, Mr. Smith, how are you doing today? Are you calling about the product that you purchased last week? Yes, we really like them. Can we buy 3 more? Well, you know what? The agent's already going to be in that screen. They're going to have the ability to just execute the order. Simple, easy, and integrations are very important for just customer service at the end of the day and allowing people to work with those things. So as you can see, we have a lot of integrations up here, but if you don't see yours, it's not a big deal. Any of those applications that can speak a REST API or talk that language, it allows you to be able to communicate. So, if it supports REST API, you are good to go. All right. One last thing for you. We are, as far as, obviously with the coronavirus and the COVID-19 thing that's going on, we are doing our best to help with that as well. So we are offering free software promo for 60 days. So if you think this is something that you guys could take advantage of and use, feel free to reach out to myself. To call TechMode's 800 number, 888-397-6633, and we can support you in that way as well. But just some information on it. So if you have some interest, feel free to reach out to us and we can fill you in on more of the details of what that free software looks like. So with that, thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate your time today. Hopefully this was informative for all of you. And look forward to sending out the webinar link after this. And you can view this and share this with any of your colleagues. But please, if you have any questions or want to have more information or want to know more information about this, please feel free to reach out to me. And the information is right there for you. Thank you very much, and have a great afternoon.